Welcome to the Effortless English Show with the world's #1 English teacher, AJ Hoge, where AJ's more than 40 million students worldwide finally learn English once and for all, without the boring textbooks, classrooms, and grammar drills. Here's AJ with a quick piece to help you learn to speak fluent English effortlessly.
Hi, I'm AJ Hoge, the author of Effortless English. Learn to speak English like a native. And the father of the effortless English system that trains you to speak English fluently, speak English confidently, think in English, speak English effortlessly, naturally. When you commit to my VIP program today at EffortlessEnglishClub.com. You've got to commit today. You've got to commit every day at EffortlessEnglishClub.com, my VIP program at EffortlessEnglishClub.com. Speaking of the VIP program, VIP members, a quick announcement for VIP members. Some of you may know, especially new members, maybe you know, we have had a small computer problem, a bug with our system. Some of you, a few of you, did not get your second lesson. You got the first lesson, and then 10 days later, you needed to get the second lesson, but you didn't get a new one. It was the same old one. And your credit card also did not get charged. So you're kind of, wow, what's happening? So I apologize. I'm sorry. It's a problem with our computer system, a bug. We call this a bug, right? A small computer system problem. We are fixing it now. By we, I mean my technical team, my computer programmers. They are working on it now. This problem will be fixed in the next 1 or 2 days. So please be patient. I'm sorry for the small problem, but don't worry. We are fixing it now. And everything will be fine. You'll be getting your new lesson in 1 to 2 days and continuing on with your commitment. Now, the good news with the VIP program is growing. Wow, we've had a lot of new members joining, really since the beginning of the year, since New Year especially. We always have new members joining, but a lot of new members joining this year. So our membership is growing. Our Effortless English family, VIP family, is growing a lot. So welcome to all of you new VIP members. And thank you to all of you existing old VIP members for committing and continuing your commitment, right? You've got to commit. That's how you get success. So welcome to the new ones and keep going to everyone. Good job. Congratulations to you. Red pill. You know, it's interesting today, my topic today. I already planned my topic today. I came home. I looked on Twitter and someone had a Twitter comment about the topic I chose. They had a question or a comment, and it's directly connected to my topic. So hey, that's nice. So here's the topic today is truth. How do you know the truth? Right, the red pill. How do you know what is the red pill? How do you know if you really are understanding the truth? Because we are surrounded by lies from when we are young in the fake schools, through our whole life, through the fake media. How do you figure out what is true, what's not true? sometimes it can feel difficult. Remember The Matrix, one of my favorite movies. Really has so many great messages in that movie. The more I think about that movie, I realize it's actually very deep, a very deep movie, even though, it's a very interesting science fiction kind of action movie, but really some great messages in that movie too. And remember Neo, the hero Neo? Keanu Reeves, played by Keanu Reeves. Right, in the beginning of the movie, he is blue-pilled, meaning he does not know the full truth. He doesn't know it, right? He doesn't know what the Matrix really is. He doesn't know what true reality is. In the beginning of the movie, Neo only has they say he has a vague idea. Vague means not clear. He has a not clear idea. Just that something's wrong, right? He's living his normal life. He works in an office. He comes home and he gets on his computer. But he feels there's something wrong. There's just something wrong. And he's not quite exactly sure what it is, but life and society they don't feel right. Something feels wrong about his life and his society in general. Only after the red pill does he wake up and realize the whole truth. The quite ugly truth, really, in the movie, but before the red pill, before he sees the full truth, he just has this idea that something's wrong, but he's not quite sure what. And we live in a society much like that. I think this is what the movie makers, the writer, the directors, were trying to tell us. Because we live in a matrix too. Full of lies and lies and lies. And, they start the lies when we are very, very young. So then it's very difficult to wake up. Just like Neo, it's hard to wake up. All through your fake education, the fake schools, you're getting lies and lies and lies and lies. And the hidden curriculum and all these messages to control you. And then, of course, as you grow up, also through the fake media, the fake news, the fake media in general, including TV and movies, you're getting also lies and lies and lies and lies. You're surrounded by it everywhere. And of course, most people are also in the same matrix, right? Most people are going to the same fake schools like you. Most people are watching the same fake media like you. So other people also are getting lies all the time. So how do you find the truth? How do you wake up? And when you wake up, how do you know? How do you know you actually are waking up to truth? That it's not just another lie? How do you know? How do we figure out truth from all the lies? It's a good question. A lot of people, maybe you now, or maybe you in the past, certainly me in the past, we're like Neo. We have that vague feeling something's wrong, but we can't quite identify because we're still too confused, or we were still too confused about the lies. What to believe, what is true. This is the way I was, in the past, where I knew something was wrong. I just knew. I could feel something was wrong. I could see something was wrong. Everywhere I looked, it seemed that society was sick. For example, I use this example a lot. Such a simple example is just the health food. Go to America and I look around and most people are fat and so unhealthy, even younger ones. There's something wrong. I see that and immediately I feel something's wrong. What is wrong? Something is wrong. This is not healthy. This is not good. This is not natural. But in the beginning, I didn't know what. I was like, well, why? What changed? Why? Now, luckily I'm old enough. I remember when I was young, not so many fat people. So logically, something changed, right? It's not natural. Something changed in America to create all those fat people. But I know now what caused it, but but in the past I didn't really know. I just knew something's very wrong. And of course, this is now not only America. It's spreading. It's going into other countries because it's a poison food supply is the main reason. It's garbage, processed, unnatural food that is now going into countries around the world. So now, when I travel, I'm seeing more and more and more obesity. Obesity means like very, extreme fatness, very unhealthy fatness. I'm seeing it now. I see it just a little bit in Japan, not so much. I'm seeing it more and more in Thailand. Places like it's a huge, big problem already, almost like America. It's a huge, terrible problem in some countries, such as Mexico and Britain. Almost like America, really. But it's getting worse everywhere, or most places. It's going around the world. Another example of just feeling like something's wrong, just realizing something's wrong. Again, I didn't know why, but I knew something was wrong with families, that families were falling apart, divorce. And I mentioned I read my own family's history, the history of the Hoge family. And in 900 years in my family, no divorce until my parents' generation. Something changed. Something wrong. And of course, not just my family, but America again. I think it's 63% of marriages end in divorce. Families are a disaster. They're being destroyed, completely destroyed in the United States. It's still a decent sized problem, a bad problem in places like Europe, even in parts of Asia. It's spreading around the world where these families are falling apart. They're being destroyed. So these are two very basic human things through all human history. Food, healthy food, and the family. Education. Now, as a teacher, this was my first red pill. This was my first red pill because I worked in some school systems, and I kind of woke up. I woke up to the truth about education and schools earlier. But it's the same problem. Our schools everywhere around the world are failing, are full of lies, are just factories. They're not effective. They're terrible. So I realized the schools are failing and corrupt. So now we have education, families, basic health, food, and on, everything. Our morality, right? Our morality, what is good and what is bad, has been totally corrupted. Now they're pushing in the media, pushing. It's not just the transsexual stuff, men pretending to be women and mentally ill, but it's all kinds of just perversion, we call it in English, perversion, sexual perversion, pornography type stuff. But now it's not just pornography. Of course, you can get pornography on the internet easily, but it's even just normal television, normal movies for fairly young people. They show more and more sexual type content. They suggest more sexual content. And also violence. It's not only sex, it's also violence, where they show more blood and more violence in movies and TV, and for younger and younger and younger ages. So they're pushing this perversion, this disgusting culture on us, so that the basic morality of what is good and what is evil, what is beautiful and what is ugly, they're pushing ugliness, they're pushing evil, they're pushing what's called vice. Vice means just harmful habits, kind of like sin. Again, everywhere in the world, or most places. So morality's falling apart. Religions have been corrupted. Very, very sad to see this. Religious organizations. Of course, there's the true religion, but then there are organizations. And the organizations are being corrupted, and they're actually pushing a lot of this evil and immorality, which means not moral. And so when you see all of this and you start to wake up to some of it, you get, again, that feeling like Neo. You're not quite sure, like, what's the cause of this? Well, why is this happening? You're not quite sure of what the truth is, because from a young age, this is being pushed on you all the time. But you just have a feeling like something's wrong. There's something wrong, right? And sometimes it's emotional. Sometimes you feel just this confusion about, well, I think it feels wrong, but everybody thinks it's normal. Nobody talks about this, but it seems something's wrong. I feel something's wrong. Sometimes you feel that loneliness we've talked about. Sometimes you feel a kind of a frustration or an anger. It's difficult. It's hard to know the truth. It's hard to take the red pill and wake up. There's a lot of confusion because it's lies, 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 lies. We're surrounded by lies. Because the people who are doing this at the top, the ones who own the media, the ones who own the banking and the money supply, and therefore those big giant companies like Google, like all the TV networks, they are masters of lying. They are the people of the lie, is what I call them. People of the lie. It means they are the masters of lying. That lying is right at their center, and they are very, 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 very good at it. They are very good at creating confusion. And that's how they are destroying our families, our schools, the relationship between men and women. That's why dating is so incredibly difficult now for so many people. It's not natural. It should be natural and easy, but it's not now because that also has been corrupted. Our communities, everything. You can just go on and on and on. Education, everything. These people of the lie, we are surrounded by lies. So that's the hard part. That's the ugly part. That's the confusion, right? That's why it's like being Neo in the Matrix. Something's wrong. I feel something's wrong, but how do I get out? How do I get out of the Matrix? How do I really take the red pill and wake up? And how do I know I'm waking up, that I'm seeing the real truth? That's what we're going to talk about today, the positive side of this. A system of truth. A system of truth. A system of knowing truth, of figuring out the truth. A system for becoming red-pilled. How to do it. It's 3 parts. This is a very traditional system. The very traditional way of knowing truth, of finding truth, and confirming truth. Part 1, ancient writing. Ancient books. Ancient writings. Ancient meaning very, 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 very old. 1,000 years old, 2,000 years old, 3,000 years old, 5,000 years old. Ancient writings is the first part. The second part, sages or masters. What's a sage? A sage is a wise person, like a saint. If they're religious, they would be called a saint. But a sage is like a very wise, very intelligent, very wise person who knows truth directly. You could also call this just a master, right? A master. This could be in one specific area, just one area of knowledge. So you could have a master painter, for example, Michelangelo, painter or sculptor, artist, right? A master artist. And he was a master in that area of art. Or you could have a master in a more religious area or philosophy, or right? But in general, you get the idea. Someone who has mastered this area of learning, of knowledge. And number 3, of course, direct knowing, meaning you directly figure out. And that has 3 parts also. Let's go back. We'll talk about how you can directly know things. That's the 3rd part. But let's talk about these 3. Now, the system of 3 parts, the idea is this. For something to be very, very true, for you to be confident that it's true red pill, it's really true, all 3 of these parts should agree. So, number 1, your own mind. You figure it out, right? With your own mind, maybe with observation, your own reason and logic, and also maybe with meditation. I'll talk about how you learn directly, but basically your own direct knowledge. You think, I think this is true. Well, then you check it with sages and masters from now and in the past. Do they also agree? Good. Now you have even more confidence. Finally, you check this truth, this idea, this learning, you check it with the ancient writings of religion and philosophy and literature. Do the ancient writings also agree that it's true? If yes, all 3 agree, your own experience, observation, reason, etc., plus the old sages and masters, plus the ancient writings, they all agree, you have very good confidence. It is true. You have found truth, deeper truth, real truth, when all 3 agree. Why all 3? Why not just trust your experience only? That's one question, maybe. I thought about this question myself. Why not just trust myself only? Because you should trust yourself, for sure you should. But the problem is, me, you, all humans, we can make mistakes, right? We can make mistakes. We can have an illusion, means we have a false belief. We can even our eyes can confuse us sometimes, right? We think we see something, but actually we're not seeing it clearly or correctly. We think something is logical, we think we understand it, but we're missing something. We meditate. We have a deep intuition. But maybe, again, our ego is involved and we make a mistake. Right? We can make mistakes. We're not perfect. So that's why we really need to check with these other 2. So one of these is not enough. It's the same with the ancient writings. Right? So maybe you read something very ancient and old. One of these, of course, something wise and good and deep, the Bhagavad Gita, the Upanishads, the Dhammapada, the Iliad, the Odyssey, the Bible, the Quran. You get the idea, right? Choose ones from your own culture. But, maybe you read one of these and you think you understand something in that writing, but then you check with, trusted masters and sages, and they say, no, you're that's not right. You're reading that wrong, or your understanding of the writing is wrong. And then also you check it yourself, and you think logically, and you think, no, that's not right. So it gives you you realize, okay, maybe the book's not right, or maybe you don't understand the book correctly right now. So it's just a nice system. It's not perfect. It's not 100% perfect, but it is very useful, very powerful, and very effective when you use this 3-part system. When you're using this 3-part system of learning, of knowledge, finding truth, especially, deep truths. I'm talking about philosophical truths, right? Not just some scientific fact, but something deeper than that, bigger, about humanity, about society, about life and death, about meaning, about purpose, all of that. System of truth. So again, number one is ancient writings. Read old books. Why is that? Well, because we are being lied to right now. We're full of lies. Our education system is terrible everywhere in the world. Horrible. You can't trust what you learned. You can't trust what people are writing in the newspaper now. You can't trust books that were written, this year or last year or recently. Not much. You can't really trust them because those people also had the same education system, which is terrible. You read the ancient, the very, very old. Ancient means very, very, very old, 1,000 years or more. You read ancient books. Why? Because you're going back to the wisdom, the knowledge, the understanding that is very, very, very old for every generation, right? For hundreds and thousands of years, humans understood these things. Only recently have we forgotten, or honestly, we've been lied to. So go back to those old and ancient writings. So as I mentioned, different categories, different kinds of ancient writings. Do them all, read them all. Number one is religious. Certainly read your own religious book, scriptures they're called, kind of holy books, Holy. But also not only the direct holy books, but also read your religion's, the books of, connected to it. But not only your own religion. I also, I read books from other religions too. Read them all, the old ones. So much wisdom, knowledge, and truth in those, if you read them carefully. Category 2 for the ancient writings. Philosophy, philosophical writings, but not recent ones, old ones. For Western people, this would, in the West, it would be, of course, the main ones would be Plato and Aristotle, the Greeks, and then you could also read some of the Romans, if you like. And in the East, there are many great philosophers and philosophical writers as well. Read those. And then the third kind of ancient writing is epic literature. Epic means a big, huge story. Heroic story about, great big heroes. And that's what those stories used to be. So, for example, this would be the Mahabharata, the Ramayana. Those are both from India. The Song of Roland, that's European. The Iliad, the Odyssey, the Aeneid, Greek and Roman. The Norse Eddas, that's the tales of the old Vikings. There's one from Persia, I can't remember it, but the name of it, but you get the idea, right? Lots of cultures have these. And they also, even though they're stories about heroes, they also have a lot of great messages and truth inside of them when you read them carefully. So read the ancient, the old books and stories and religious books and philosophies and all, the epics. And that's part one of truth. This will give you a much better understanding of how the world is really. And this will also give you a much better understanding of human nature. The ancients understood human nature much better than modern people do. We're so full of lies about equality and Marxism and all this other nonsense that we're confused. This is why, so many young men are totally confused about dealing with girls and women. I was too. Because we're we've grown up with all kinds of incredibly stupid lies and confusion. Read the ancient books. They understood, okay? They understood men. They understood women. They understood the relationship between the two. They understood basic human psychology. They understood society and how humans work in groups. They understood human weakness. They understood human strengths. They understood virtue. It's all there in those ancient books. Read those books as much as you can, as many as you can. This right away, this is one great, powerful red pill. Reading those ancient books. That's a nice red pill. You'll start to wake up and understand some truths. A lot of modern confusion will leave you. Step 2 then, the sages, the masters. We also need sages, masters. Another way to say this would be teachers, coaches, gurus. Lots of different words you can use. But not just normal teachers, right? Not just the job title. Again, that's why I don't like the word teacher for myself, because teacher is kind of a job title, right? You're paid money as a teacher to work in a school. That's not what I'm talking about. Anybody can go become a teacher. But a true sage, a true master, a true guru, even a true coach, right? They have to, they earn, right? They earn your respect, your deep trust. They are a master in their area of knowledge, of teaching, of coaching. Right? They're special. They're not like just everybody else. And they will help you to understand because they're more advanced than you are in this area of life, whatever it is. Now, of course, the problem is, as I have mentioned, it's very difficult to find good coaches now, right? It's very difficult to find a true guru, a true teacher, a true master, a true sage, wise person who will teach you. It's hard to find now. There's so many fake people, so many cheaters. Probably most of all, so many who are just not good. I mean, even in the small area of English learning, which is not a very big topic in life, but, in this small area of English learning, most English teachers, they suck, right? They're just not good. Doesn't mean they're bad people. But they're not good. How do we know they're not good? Well, we look at their students. Their students don't succeed. That's how you know if a teacher's good, if a guru's good, if a master is good as a teacher, right? As a mentor. You look at them, but most of all, you look at their students. And are the students becoming successful? If they are, then that's probably a good one. But it's very difficult to find great sages, coaches, masters nowadays. It's very tough now. It is very hard. You won't find them in the school system. That's where most people try to look, but that's not where you're going to find them. It can be frustrating, I know. It can be very frustrating to want a coach, a guru, a master, a sage, someone to help you in some area of life, and then you can't find them. It's very hard. Now, so how do you find them? There's a couple of ways. I'll use myself as an example. Now, one thing you can do is you can find masters from the past. Again, by reading their books, right? Past masters. For example, if you were a Christian, well, of course you read the Bible as your main, religious ancient writing. Of course. And, hopefully you would also read the Iliad and the Odyssey and lots of these other things too, and even books from other religions. But then you want to find a sage, a master. Now, for Christianity, they were usually called saints, but not always. Not always. So what would you do? You would read the great Christian masters. You read their books. their ideas. In this way, they would still be able to coach you even, hundreds of years later. So you would read the writings of St. Augustine. You would read the writing, I'm trying to remember of all of the ones I know. St. Augustine, Meister Eckhart, etc., right? And in this way, you would learn from them, be guided by them. And you could even someone who's quite modern, actually, C.S. Lewis, but very popular and very a very good Christian. I don't know what you call him, coach. Let's say, let's just call him a coach. Not a saint, just a coach, a regular man, but a writer. He thought about not only just Christianity, he actually wrote some very good books just about, in general, just about God, just about virtue, natural law. But he also wrote about Christianity. So if you're a Christian especially, you might read some of his books, right? So you can find in books, you can find these sages. And you can choose from, ones who are very old and some that are more recent. The old ones sometimes have very nice, deep ideas that'll give you a good understanding. And newer ones, they use more modern language, easier to understand. So a mix. So that's one area where you can find these sages or masters or coaches. But it's nice if you can find someone who's still alive, who could maybe answer your questions or help give you some guidance. Nowadays we have the internet. Now, see, this is a powerful, positive way to use the internet to search for coaches, teachers, mentors in different areas of life. You found me for English, right? I'm your coach. I'm your English coach. I hope you accept me as your English coach. You can even ask me questions, on Twitter. It's not the same as being, right next to me every day where I'm talking to you, but it's nice. It's good, right? It's great that you can find a coach that helps you and guides you and gives you lessons and really helps you a lot. And, from anywhere in the world. You can be anywhere in the world. So that's fantastic. Well, you did that with English. You can also do that with other areas of life. In my own religious practice, I have this myself. I have just recently found a religious teacher that, for me, I really, really, really love this guy. Really love his teachings. And, I joined his kind of organization, watching his videos, reading his books, and it's even possible I can send emails and ask questions. It's very nice. Very, 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 very nice. It's fantastic. And, this is not possible for me just in my neighborhood where I live. So the internet can be a powerful way to do this. And you can do this for anything, right? This could be something very big like, religion and philosophy. It could be something fairly small, like just a hobby. Like, for example, if you're learning the guitar. Well, this is the old master-apprentice system. It's very old, very powerful, traditional education system. It's the best system of education. That's why it was so old for so long, until it was destroyed by, the kind of industrial globalists. But it's still the best way to learn, master-apprentice. So if you're learning guitar, again, the best way to learn guitar is not, definitely not, to go to a school and take guitar classes with 30 other people. It's not a very good way to learn the guitar. The best way to learn the guitar would be to be at home, independent learner, but then find a great coach. Probably online. If you're very, very lucky, maybe there's a great guitar coach or teacher or master in your town. That's great. That's fantastic. That's the best, of course. If you can find a guitar master in your town. And by master, that means they're a good player, but more importantly, they're a great teacher, a great coach, a great guru. That's a separate skill. Some people are very good at what they do, but they can't teach it. You know, I mean, a lot of English speakers are like this. They're great English speakers. They're native speakers. They're excellent speakers, but they don't know how to teach it. Right? And the same for anything. So guitar. There are some great guitar players who really can't teach. But if maybe you get lucky and in your town, there's a great guitar master who's great at guitar and is also a great teacher. So perfect. That's great. Go take lessons from them. And then, of course, most of the time, your master will tell you, okay, during the week, go home and do this. And just do what they tell you to do and follow it. Unfortunately, right, you're probably not going to be lucky. So maybe in your town there is not a great guitar master. So then what's the next step? Well, online, this is where I think this is really the great positive thing about the internet, information technology. It's the area of education and learning, finding a master or a coach, finding learning systems that are good for you. You might need to take a lot of time researching. You might need to do a lot of internet searches. You might need to get on social media asking other people questions. Hey, who's a great guitar teacher online? All right, you might have to try several different guitar masters, different guitar programs, courses. Maybe you try one, don't like this, not so good. No, you try another one. But eventually, keep going, you'll find one. You'll find a great one that is great for you, that works for you. Fantastic. Now you've got step 2. Well, this is also true, by the way, for the bigger questions of life, like philosophy, like society, like relationships, like virtue, like religion and philosophy and meaning and purpose. You can also look for sages, gurus, teachers, masters online. Of course, again, in your own town, if you can, that's great. But if not, look online. So books and online, again, helps with the second part of truth, of our system of truth. Masters, great masters. So we have ancient writings as number 1. Great masters is number 2. What's the third thing you need? Well, now it's you. Of course, you can't just blindly believe what you read. And you can't blindly believe what someone tells you, even if they are a master. Even if you really trust them, generally you'll believe them if you really trust them, if you really think they're great. But still, you always, in all areas, you must use your own brain, your own heart, your own intuition. Of course, this is what makes you a human being. Direct knowing, right? Now, there are 3 ways to directly know something. Now we're talking about just you. Number 1 is called empiricism. Here's a big vocabulary word for you. Empiricism is the noun. Empirical is the adjective. So people say empirical knowledge, for example. What does that mean? Well, this means your senses. This means something you learn through your eyes, ears, right? Nose, right? Feeling, touching, all those senses. So it's direct learning from the senses. So, for example, directly observing, directly seeing. You can learn by seeing directly, right? You can watch a caterpillar, a little bug, become a butterfly. You just learned about caterpillars and butterflies directly through seeing. It's direct knowledge, right? Direct experience, in other words. Empirical. Now, this might be just watching, or it might be even organized like science, like modern science, right? Modern science is empirical, means it's also based on, right, on measuring, on seeing. Of course, they use instruments, they use technology to help, but still, it's the same idea. It's empirical, right? Directly experiencing, directly seeing or hearing or touching, right? It's through that direct learning. The second way you can know something directly yourself is through reason, through logic. So for example, 2 plus 2, what's the answer? 4. How do you know this? Well, because it's a logic system that you learned, right? Mathematics. You don't actually observe it. It's not something you're touching or seeing or hearing, really, right? It's part of your logic, your reason. One example I saw used was you can answer this question: can Bill be a married bachelor? Can Bill be a married bachelor? And that's the question, yes or no. You don't need to see Bill. You don't need to know Bill, right? No direct. You're not using your senses. It's not empirical. But still, you can know the answer just from logic. Can Bill be a married bachelor? Well, what does bachelor mean? Bachelor is a single man who's not married. That's the definition of the word. So, no, it's impossible. You can't be a bachelor and be married at the same time. It's logically impossible, right? Because they have opposite meaning, those two words. Married and bachelor are opposite meanings, so the answer is no. This is you just know this from your own reason, your own logic in your mind. So there's logic, reason, right? Studying, all these kind of, logical reason systems. Using your knowledge is another way to know truth directly, yourself. And then traditionally, the third way to know direct truth is called transcendence. Transcendence means to go past, to go beyond. What this means is meditation, deep intuition. Where through the process of deep meditation or deep intuition, you can know something directly. It's beyond your seeing or hearing or touching. So these are the three ways of directly knowing. So, and that's part of this whole system of truth. The three parts are, again, ancient writings, very, very, very old writings. Number 2, masters or sages or gurus or coaches. Number 3, direct knowing, which has those three parts I just mentioned. That's your red pill test. The perfect situation is all three of them agree. When all three point to the same truth, you have found the truth. You have taken a big red pill. When all three point to the same virtue, you know it's important. When all three point to the same path, the same way of living, you know it's a true path. So when they all three agree, you have found truth. You can be quite confident you have found truth. What about when they disagree, right? When one of them disagrees or two of them disagree? Does that mean this idea is wrong, whatever it is? No, not necessarily. It doesn't necessarily mean it's wrong. It just means you should investigate more. It's a sign you probably need to investigate more, to do more research, to try to learn more, right? Your confidence in the idea will be less. Especially this is, again, about ways of living, philosophy, virtues, relationships, morals and morality, religion, community, family, all of these things that make our life meaningful. So it's a nice test, the 3-system test, the 3-system red pill, the 3-part red pill. Ancient writings, masters, direct knowing. What can you do then? In your daily life, what you should do to wake up more, red pill, that's what, you don't have to just believe me, right, about stuff. That's only one part. You need the other 2. So here's what I recommend what you should do. Number 1, the direct knowing. Be more aware in your life, okay? Number one, get more life experience. Travel. That's one of the benefits of travel. When you get experience from travel, direct travel experience, you will come back and you will see your own country differently. You will learn more about your own nation, your own people, your own community. Some of it will be good and maybe some of it won't, but it will give you a more clear learning. So direct experience. It will also teach you other things. It will help to teach you virtues. It will help to give you confidence. You will be challenged. Lots of great things come from traveling and just in general, more experience in life. This is why I encourage people to take action. Take action. Don't think too much. Thinking's okay, but don't think too much. Take action. So for example, if you want to start your own business, start your business. Get the experience. That's how you'll know more about business. You'll learn more and know more when you get that experience. So get more experience in life. Do more things. The second part of that is also observe more carefully as you walk around, just each day, all day long. Don't be distracted. Don't be looking at your phone all the time. Look around. Watch people. Watch nature. Look at the sky. Notice your own breathing, your own thoughts, right? Observe. Be more observant is the adjective. It means someone who observes a lot. So observe and get more experience. That's the direct knowing you can do every day. The second thing you can do every day is read ancient books every day. Read an ancient text, an ancient book every day. Not the whole book, just, a few pages is okay. I mean, some of them are a bit difficult. Some of them are very, very deep. So maybe, 1 page is enough sometimes. But do it every day. Read something from an ancient book every day. And the third thing, find masters in your life. Find true masters, true coaches, true masters, true sages, true gurus, whatever you want to call them. But search for them in your town and online too, and in books. But find them for all the areas of your life where you want to improve, where you want to understand, where you want to find truth. Find masters. So find masters, read ancient books, get more experience, and observe. And you will wake up. You will then understand the red pill. The confusion will disappear. Step by step, it will go away. Your mind will become clear. You will see clearly. You will wake up like Neo. That's the red pill, the 3 parts. Commit to my VIP program at effortlessenglishclub.com. Commit at effortlessenglishclub.com. effortlessenglishclub.com. That's where you start and continue. You've got to continue. You've got to commit to get those results. Speak English powerfully. Speak English fluently. Speak English confidently. Speak English effortlessly. Think in English. Commit at effortlessenglishclub.com. effortlessenglishclub.com. Go now.